must meet. And she's got a lot of things she's going to bring to us at the event and even in this conversation. And welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you, Rebecca, for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. So she's not a massage therapist, just so you know. But she owned it.
Why are you saying that?
But she operated a business in the city. You were in Ottawa, right?
That's correct. There were two wellness clinics that I owned. There was one in Orleans and one in Cumberland Village.
For 25 years.
Yeah. Well, the one in Orleans was 25 years, the full.
Okay.
And then we opened the Cumberland one afterwards. But yes, there were wellness clinics that offered massage therapy, acupuncture, infrared sauna, stuff like that. And of course, my services. But yes, it was a great experience as a business owner and all of that. It was wonderful. And it was time to move on. And now I'm focusing solely on my practice, which is intuitive life coaching. And I'm also a psychic medium. And that is the bulk of what I focus on presently.
So take us back to when did you start, or when did you know that you were psychic medium, or is this something that you decided to do in older years?
Well, I noticed towards in my teenage years. Mm-hmm. And, actually, I think I noticed younger than that, but I didn't realize it was different. I didn't realize that other people didn't get the information I was getting. Mm-hmm. I thought it was normal that I was picking up on I guess, all that information. And so anyway, but I really noticed when later on, I think I was about, 17, 18-ish. And I realized, okay, wait a minute. This information is really personal. I'm getting a lot of stuff that I don't think I'm supposed to really know. And I knew at that point, I knew enough. I'm like, okay, I am psychic. I just knew it. And yeah. Now, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't thrilled about it at all.
I bet not.
I didn't like this. There's a side of me that's very practical. Mm-hmm. I like facts. When I studied bioenergy, nutrition, and all of that, it was all about facts. That's the way the body works. There we go. And so being a psychic medium, try to prove it. It's different. And I thought it was an invasion of my privacy, of my time, my energy.
Because it was just coming into you.
And I'm like, what do you want me to do with this? Go up to people, hey, excuse me. And so I didn't like it. For years and years, I very much just ignored it 100%, because I didn't want to be associated with that or anything. I thought it was just too weird, even though I was it. That's what
is there someone in your family, like a grandmother or grandpa or something, who also had this, or did you have anyone that you could talk to, or you just had to suffer it alone?
Nope, I just kept my mouth shut. Kept my mouth shut about it. And I did finally, later on as an adult, share it with a few friends. And that's when I started practicing a little bit, not practicing professionally at all, but just sharing it a little bit, just a little bit. But it was very limited, the people that I shared it with. Very limited.
Were you a business owner at that point, or that came a lot later?
It was right before. Mm-hmm. Then I became a business owner, and there was no way I wanted anyone to know, because there was no way. I'm like, no, they're going to think I'm too weird. They're going to maybe discredit what I do as a coach, a natural health practitioner, because like it or not, people do judge. Mm-hmm. They do, and it is something a little different.
Yeah, and some people are going to choose you for that now, and some people will never, ever do that.
So the reason why I come out with it, it's something that I use all the time. And people ask me, Denise, how do you know me so well when they're coming in for coaching? So how is it that you've pinpointed things so precisely? Mm-hmm. How is it that you know exactly what it is that I need, and all of that? And it's part of what I do. Is my psychic ability, my intuitive abilities are always there. It is part of my DNA. It is part of who I am. And so at one point, I'm thinking, why am I hiding this?
Mm-hmm.
It is part of who I am. It's how I was created.
At
And
what point did that come? Like where in the journey where it's like, well, I can't keep sort of splitting myself up.
well, my husband's been bugging me forever. Denise, come on. Like, just let them know this is why you're so good at what you do. And so he's been bugging me for years and years and years
Mm-hmm.
to do it. And so this has been very recent. And I'm going to say within the last year.
Yep.
Yep, very recent. And the more I shared it, the more people were, I knew it, and people are loving it. And then I thought, you know what, enough of this, enough of not sharing with the world all of my gifts, all of who I am, because that's what I was created to be. And so that's when I did the changes on the website, and I said, that's it, done. It is who I am. Yeah.
So it's exciting.
And the reception, my embracing it publicly, wow, what it did to my business as a life coach, as everything, it's unbelievable how that's the way the universe works.
So how long have you been doing life coaching?
Oh, goodness. Life coaching, I'm going to say, I don't know, 10, 15 years now.
Yeah. Oh, so, and was it part of your healthcare practices or just, yeah. Yes. Okay.
And so I started, gosh, at least 25 years ago as a natural health practitioner, because I studied to be in bioenergy nutrition, studied the body and all of that. And from that, then it morphed more into coaching, because then, I mean, people came to see me with health conditions and all of that. And ultimately, it was always about, what are your habits? What do you do every single day? Why can't you stick to this? And I mean, 80% of the issues were stress related and life related. And it literally just automatically morphed into that's pretty much all that I was doing all the time, was actually coaching and changing their habits, and coaching them in regards to goal setting, in regards to focusing on certain areas of their life, and understanding the power of perception and how they were viewing things and how to change it. And there you go. Yeah.
So you said yes to be a speaker at the Spiritual Summit. Tell us a little bit about what people can expect when they come to hear you. Like we're going to have about 10 people on the stage throughout the day, and you're one of them. And what are you going to tell us about? What are you talking about?
So the topic that I've decided to speak about, so the name of it is, what I'm calling it is Enough is Enough. And most of my clientele, when they book to see me for coaching, it's because they've had enough and they want to see change in their lives. And I've decided to speak about that and what happens when you realize you've had enough, whether it's in regards to your relationship, whether it's in regards to not being happy with being a parent. You're done. You're tired of it. What do? You can't get rid of your kids. And what if you're tired of your relationship but you can't afford a divorce? Oh my gosh, what do you do?
Big problem.
That's a problem. That's a big one. And what happens if you're just fed up of your life? You're not happy. You're constantly stressed out. You don't like your job anymore. And you're thinking, I've had enough. So there's that whole aspect that I want to talk about. What do you do when you find yourself there? And how do you get out of that? And then that leads into the other aspect of enough is enough, is the realization that you're enough. You've got what it takes to change. You've got what it takes to be happy, to be fulfilled. You are enough. You are allowed to have a happy relationship. You are allowed to have a career that gets you excited or whatever it is. And so I find that that is so needed, so needed. And I think the whole COVID thing really brought this out. People were stuck at home, stuck with their kids, stuck with their loved ones. And they realized, I think a lot of people have realized they're not happy.
Mm-hmm.
And they had so much time on their hands, and they looked in the mirror and they said, or they realized, what am I doing with my life? And so that is what I want to talk about. I want to talk about anger. What do you do with anger? Because anger is a great motivator. But if you stay in your angry mode too long, it will destroy who you are. Same for sadness. Same for anything, all emotions. Yeah. But all emotions are so important. And so my talk in regards to enough is enough, hopefully will bring hope, hopefully can help people realize that so many have been in that state or are in that state. And it's okay, because that's what brings on change. And we're supposed to change. And it feels amazing to be able to have the tools and the know-how to bring on these changes. And that goes perfectly in correlation with the new program that I'm launching as well that weekend. And the name of the program is Enough is Enough.
Enough is enough.
Yes. And that's what it's all about.
When you're speaking, you're also doing a workshop that day?
Yes, literally pretty much right after I'm speaking at 2:00. And I don't know, the workshop I think is at 3:15. And it's a half hour, it's like a crash course. And it's Enough is the name of my workshop. And the ones attending this workshop will be individuals that want to hear quick tips on what they can start doing right now.
Right.
I'm fed up. I don't know what to do. I'm bored to death with my life, or whatever the case may be, is what can we start doing right now to start seeing changes? That's the workshop.
Okay, very cool. Yeah. So I personally, I just have a couple of questions around sort of the psychic medium part, and how do you fit that into probably more in the one-on-one coaching, I'm assuming, than the group coaching, but where does that kind of come in? If I'm coming to you for life coaching because I'm looking for some change, maybe in my employment and maybe my living situation, and now I'm phoning you up, or I said, can you help me? I want to sign up for like this package of coaching sessions with you. Okay. And I heard you're also a psychic medium.
That is correct, 100%. And so you heard correctly. So as I mentioned earlier, before the interview, we were talking a little bit. It's part of who I am. It is my DNA. And so when you come in for coaching with me as a psychic medium, which is what I guess sets me apart from other coaches, because there's so many coaches out there, as a psychic medium, intuitively gifted, okay, it gives me a whole different dimensional view of who you are and your circumstances. So I get to have these messages. So my guides, my spiritual guides, we all have spiritual guides. We've had them since birth, okay? These guides are here to help us, to guide us. And what they do is they share with me whatever information is needed for you to be able to move on, move forward. And it's all this information that is shared. And so it gives me more insight on who you are.
So when I come in, Do they just kind of, we're having whatever the coaching session is, do you just kind of get like a download, or do you call in that help?
I don't even have to call in for it. It's automatic. It's a download. Now, they only share things with me that they feel I should know. So it's not like a free-for-all where, hey, I want to know more about their husband. Bam, I ask them, here you go, Denise. Here's a whole bunch of private information that you want to know. How much money does she have in her account? It doesn't work that way.
Right. Okay.
So the way it works is they will share only the information that will bring on something good. So even if the information itself is personal, like negative, technically about maybe abuse they've gone through and things like that, it's information that I would need to know so that we can get better results.
Okay.
And so so I can ask for information. If it doesn't come to me, if they don't share it, I'm not supposed to know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not supposed to know. And so it's automatic. It's like an instant download.
And it's usually like on task for the subject matter that's being discussed. Like you're helping me shift.
I understood that. I'm thinking of how I'm going to answer that.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So no, that's okay. And so not always.
No.
But let's say, and I don't always choose to share everything that is given to me as information right away.
Yeah.
Because sometimes
you're not ready for it.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And so even if you're coming in because you're not happy with your job, let's say you want coaching in regards to that, and maybe I'm getting a lot of information in regards to your private life at home or things that you've gone through growing up. That makes a difference on how you perceive things, on your confidence level, on your ability to be happy or not. Okay. And all of that affects your work, of course. And so do I choose to right away bring that right up? No. But now it has given me that insight of saying, okay, wait a minute. It might not be all because of your coworkers.
Right.
You know what I mean? Maybe your perception of things needs to be worked on. Maybe we can elaborate on your perception of things.
Yeah.
And
it's kind of exciting. I mean, it must feel great to be able to offer that and bring that to the people you're serving.
It is. It's a privilege. It's humbling because it's so personal. And every day when I see my clients and I see the changes that it brings on in their lives, the positive changes, I feel beyond privileged to be able to do this. I love what I do. I love what I do. And it's a privilege.
So are you now, I'm sure because of the COVID situation, are you attracting people to work with you beyond the walls of Ottawa now as you're growing?
I've got clients from, oh my goodness, I've had clients from Anguilla, small island off of St. Martin, Cuba, definitely the United States. So absolutely, because of the way the internet is now, it's from everywhere. I love it. Europe. And so, because the bulk of my practice is now virtual.
Yes, okay.
It's now virtual, absolutely. Which ended up being such a big plus, because before my main focus was really just Ottawa. I had a storefront, my wellness clinics. Clients would come and see me, and it seems like I had just pretty much was focusing just on Ottawa. And now with COVID, it forced me to actually go on Facebook more, to learn a little bit more about social media and things like that. It forced me, and I'm actually quite pleased because it totally opened up a whole new group of clients that I'm
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spectacular change.
Which is incredible. Yeah.
So we're going to wrap this up. Is there any like last piece of information or a message that you want to sort of leave anybody who watches this video with?
So if I was to leave you with, let's say, 3 things, maybe remember from this video or from our sharing, is 1, we all have spiritual guides. They're with you all the time. Like it or not, they're with you all the time. So I strongly encourage everybody just to start talking to them all the time. And I know it's going to be awkward at first, right? But just say, hi, I heard from this Denise woman, this Denise coach,
You're around
here to help me. And you can ask them any question. And the way they answer is usually just through your mind. Poof. You get you get the answer to the problem, not all the time. It's not always that easy, but still. So 1, talk to your spirit guides. They're there for you. Okay. 2, come and see me at the show, 2:00. I'm speaking on Enough is Enough, Time to Create Change in Your Life. So 2 is that, 2:00, come and see me at the show. 3:00, third point, check out my website, denisefrenette.com. If you are having issues or problems making these changes in your life, have a look at my website. You can have a free 5-minute chat with me to see if I am the person for you to help make these changes happen in your life.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Looking forward to hearing you speak.
Awesome.
And to see, those happy faces leaving your workshop.
Absolutely.
On April 22nd.
I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Have a good rest of your afternoon.